I think I already did it. So, I mean, the answers might be on there already. So, I mean, yours may look different than this. You can go through there and mess with it. I would, guys. Any questions about punctuation?
No.
That was me?
Huh?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Nothing, sir.
Most of the time I feel like you're talking smack and then you just, are you?
No.
All right. All right, block functions, okay?
Let's look at some of the functions that Total Eclipse makes available once you've marked a block of text. I'll press F7 or hyperkey M several times to mark this phrase. If I now press the comma key, the phrase is surrounded by commas. I can mark and press the opening or closing parenthesis to place.
Guys, pay attention right here. It's just what I showed you before with the open quotes. So you can do it with commas, you can do it with
that's pretty cool.
parentheses, all of that stuff, okay?
The phrase within parentheses, mark and press the opening or closing bracket to bracket this phrase, mark and press the quote key to surround with quotes, and mark and surround with single quotes by pressing the apostrophe key. If I mark this phrase and press the hyphen key, the phrase will be hyphenated for me. Not sure whether workbooks is spelled with a space or not? You can mark the words and press Alt-S. A message will appear in the lower left corner of the screen.
Oh.
Y'all remember that? Y'all remember the Alt-S? Y'all use that?
No.
Guys, holy cow on this. If you don't know if it's one word, two word, hyphenated, mark it, do the Alt-S.
So that's lowercase, right?
What?
Lowercase s? Look big, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, it's just the S.
Okay.
So it's not Shift Alt S. If it doesn't have the shift, that's when you're gonna know it's different. They just do it, you know, the S just to, you know, make it bigger or whatever, to see or whatever. But if it needs a shift, then they're gonna tell you shift, okay? And it tells you that right there. It tells you whether it's correct or not, Katie. Look up here. It's gonna tell you right there, okay?
And then if you
Usually.
press enter, will it just put workbooks to correct it, or you just
And
correct
it may.
Okay.
Or it may pop up that box and give you the option to change it. Y'all remember that box?
The pop-up box, right?
Yeah. So get on a word right now and do Alt S. So if you do Alt S,
No, this is correct. Yeah.
it brings up this box, remember?
It doesn't
So if
do
it's
it
like
on
a
mine.
two-word hyphenated whatever, then you just
never
select
mind.
the word, press OK. Where is it?
Mine didn't come up. I like the
Huh?
ones.
Or it's going to
Do
be
it twice.
changed. It's not
I
going to be
said, just
okay.
do
It's
it
going to be
twice.
changed. Guys, pay attention.
I got the box.
Nope.
If it's another word, you put the word, then push change. It's not okay. It's change. And it changes it. Got it?
Okay.
All right.
But my little pop-up on the bottom didn't show.
It's at the very, very bottom. Small. Mine is small.
Yeah, mine's
Yeah, it's really small.
Oh wow, look at how small that is.
mine came out like that.
And it might not be.
I mean, I got that box, but I'm talking about to tell me that, oh yeah, this is correct. You can use it or.
Because this box will pop up. So if it doesn't pop up, then it'll show you down here.
Okay.
That might be the only reason why. But most of the time, it'll show you on both of them. Do what?
It's all the
It's
way
so
like,
tiny,
it's
I'm
all the
like-
way in the little bitty corner. You need a magnifying glass to see that.
You found it?
I found it.
Tiny.
Let's look left corner of the screen. If this is a correct spelling, with the word still marked, you can press the space bar to remove the space and create the compound word. If you mark text,
You see what it did there too? So all you have to do is a space bar, and it'll put it together or take it apart. So if you put it together as one word and it needs to be two words, push the space bar and it'll do it. If you left it as two words and it needs to be one word, push the space bar and it'll do it. Got it?
So space bar, not enter.
I think enter will do it too.
Okay.
I think it will, so
Wait, so it's like two words, and then you want it to be one word, you can press space bar?
enter. Space bar.
Space bar.
Yeah. just
Space bar. Yeah,
And I'll put it together.
yeah. With the Alt S,
Right.
you have to mark it, Alt S, and then space bar.
We're ready to
Why?
perform several stitch functions. You can go to the edit section of user settings. So you could say force all letters to be uppercase, force just the first letter to be uppercase, or leave each letter as it is.
So
I'll mark and press the hyphen key to stitch with hyphen.
What?
they just did. I was just wondering, like when they spell their name.
Yeah,
that's
how
when
do
you
you
stitch
do
it.
that?
Okay. They just.
It's gonna give it to you in auto magic. It really is. Because when they're spelling their name, how do you do it?
Right. You just.
Go in there.
How would you do it? If I'm saying this right now, his last name was Cat, C-A-T. How would you do it?
I would do C with the.
Period.
I wouldn't do period though. I would do the comma. It's like a comma. Because
What?
the period. Because it's one of those ones that you could do and it'll stitch it for you. 'Cause I think it's comma asterisk or it's a comma with a Z. I can't remember which one it is. I haven't stitched in a long time.
One. What?
I don't stitch until I'm editing.
Two. What?
So you do it with the period? Because they
I-
try to do it with the.
Well, if they're saying it, well, my name is Davis. D period, A period, V period, I period, S period is how I do it.
Okay.
Because they're saying it out. You know, I don't know if the comma does it. I've never done it with the comma. Maybe the comma stitches it. I have no idea.
Right. Because I learned it with that dash
Yeah.
right there. Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's no big deal. It's going to come up in caps or whatever, no big deal. So if you're sitting in a deposition and they say Davis and it's going to come up all caps, no big deal. They're going to know what was meant right there. It's going to put it all together, but it's all going to be in cap letters because you put the D period, A period. So when you do the individual letters with the period, it knows to put it in a cap. And then all you do is come over here,
Just stitch
get
it.
on any one of the letters, A, V, I, S, it doesn't matter, and it's going to ask you, do you want to stitch it? And it'll stitch it for you,
Okay.
okay?
If I mark again and press the hyphen key, it removes the hyphens. So mark and hyphen to stitch with hyphens.
Got that?
Wait.
And it'll cap it for you already. It knows to cap it already. So you mark it, which is what?
Oh, nice.
M. And then just push the little dash
See, that's cool.
or the hyphen. And it does it by itself. And it does it in all caps. Guys, this is going to save you so much time doing it this way. Okay?
Mark CDC and press the period
Hey.
key to stitch with periods.
See what it did right there?
No.
Huh?
Sorry. I was doing something else.
You know, when they're talking about, where did you go? Well, I went to SAPD and filed a report. Same thing. Except I don't do mine with periods. I just kind of leave it.
I was gonna say, I thought you just leave it.
Yeah. But if they're talking about the CDC, which is the example that they gave you, all you do is mark it, push the punctuation, and it does it. The period. All right? Guys, don't make it harder than it needs to be. Okay? You can come over here and tab over period, tab over period, tab over. Really? I mean, you can. Help yourself.
The seconds add up.
Okay? Yeah. Help yourself. Let me know how that works out.
And I'll mark examination and press the tilde key to stitch with lock spaces. Fine.
You see what it did right there too? So it kind of spaced it out instead of leaving it together and made it all caps. I don't know if it was all caps, was it?
Press the period.
Yeah, and it already has all caps or whatever. But you want it spaced out, okay? And that's how you do it. And so if it doesn't do, if you mark it and it doesn't do what you need it to do, then do it again. And then, you know, it'll keep toggling until the one that comes up is needed. So it may put, you know, like hyphens in it, I don't know. You know, the first time you do it, it may not. So, you know, just keep doing it until it comes up with the one that you
Hit
need.
key to stitch with periods. And I'll mark examination and press the tilde key to stitch with lock spaces. Finally, you can mark a number and press Control and the pound key to open the number conversion dialog. Input will show you what you have marked, and output will show you how the number would be transformed. I'll select generic and OK.
Oh, sorry.
Bless you.
Do you?
Got it?
What?
So Control pound key will open that number conversion to. Okay? Or you can do, what was it, Josh?
The number conversion?
Number conversion.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's a shift in. So if you want it in generic, Roman numeral, blah, blah, blah. Any questions?
No.
Great.
Oh.
Mm.
I'm working on the rail.
So what are we gonna do here, Katie? We need this stitch like that. What would we do?
Mark it? Oh.
Yeah, Katie, go ahead. How would we do it?
Mark it and then
How do you mark?
M.
M?
And then you put that little dash thing. Yeah,
That?
there you go. Yeah.
Broad.
And that's it.
Broad.
Simple as that.
Voila.
You don't have to go in there and cap all the stuff.
No, it's French name.
Which is what? What's a cap? A.
A.
Okay? You don't have to go in there and A every letter to cap it and, you know, no. Guys, do this your turn thing, okay? Not right now, but do it, okay? Trust me, it's good.
Let's see some of the choices that Eclipse Automagic offers when you have block marked text. As soon as I mark text, Automagic offers me an easy way to mark more text, or to mark more prior text. Since I want to mark not just surgery but arthroscopic surgery, I could use choice 5 to mark more prior text. Now if I press 1, Automagic will copy this text to the clipboard, and the speed key for this function in the future would be Control-C. And if I press 2, Automagic will ask for a Google search on the phrase arthroscopic surgery. No need to copy and paste or retype the text, just
Which is pretty cool, guys. When you mark some of this stuff, it'll ask you, hey, do you want to Google search this thing? I want to know what that is, arthroscopic surgery. I don't know what that is. You don't have to minimize, get out of any of that stuff. It gives you an option of finding out what it is. You have to mark it, but it should give you that option, okay?
On the sidebar?
Or sometimes, yeah, over here in the Automagic. Yeah, all right?
to use Google. If I press 3, or I use the speed key Control-, Automagic will open the text attributes dialog. Perhaps I want to put this text in italics. And if I press 4, Automagic would offer to surround this phrase with punctuation. So for instance, surround with quotes, dashes, parentheses, put a hyphen between the two words, or surround with commas. Automagic is dynamic, so the choices will depend on what you have marked. And actually, this is an instance where using Automagic actually adds a step for surrounding with punctuation. But the goal here is for Automagic to act as a teacher, so that a new user can learn that once text has been marked, pressing the quotes key would surround that text with quotation marks, or pressing the parenthesis key would surround the text with parentheses. Again, the goal is to teach new users to be as efficient as possible and to remind experienced users of features that they may have forgotten or never really discovered in the first place.
You in the
So-
back.
So in the final transcript, would you ever put any text in italic? No.
Usually what I do is like at the beginning, and we'll kind of go over it later, but usually like right here where it says what kind of hearing it is, mine is usually just like that, all caps but bold.
But that's it.
So it
no
just kind of
underline,
pops
no
out and,
italics.
oh yeah, well, that was the motion to suppress. Yeah, that's the only time. But you don't really have to. I kind of like it. It kind of highlights the thing, so you can kind of do whatever you want with it.
Let's see how to copy and paste and perform other block functions within Eclipse. Cut, copy, and paste are basic features of the Windows operating system. Naturally, you can mark all or part of an Eclipse text document and copy it onto the Windows clipboard. Then paste from the clipboard into either another Eclipse text document or even another Windows program, such as Microsoft Word or an email program. Eclipse uses the standard speed keys for...
So like right here, you know, like I told you, you know, they usually use the letter for the thing that you do. No sé. I don't know why they use V, but it is.
Those are the ones in Word.
It is. It's the stuff in Word. So maybe that's why they do it that way. You know, and it's not Control P for paste. It's Control V. So if you've done it before, you know, in Word, Microsoft Word, or any of that stuff, then, you know, it's the same thing. Okay?
these basic functions. You can also access them through icons on the toolbar. Of course, you'll see these same choices on the block menu, but if you're a mouse lover, you could click and drag to select text, and then right-click to select these same functions from a context menu. You have to mark text before it's ready to go onto the Windows clipboard. And if you're trying to capture not just the text of a paragraph, but also its formatting information, one way to do this is to place your cursor at the beginning of a paragraph and press the Home key twice so that you capture the paragraph type. Then begin marking.
You see what it's telling you right there? So if this thing is centered, and you want it centered wherever you're going to put it, then you have to come here. Push the home a couple of times so that it knows, then start marking. So you put your cursor here, home twice, should send it over, then go down. Okay? Because if not, all it's going to do is mark this text, and then it's going to put it, everything's going to be over here. Okay? So if you want to copy it just like it is, that's how you do it.
Once you begin marking, anything that moves your cursor will increase or decrease the amount of marked text. As in other Windows programs, you can also just hold down the Shift key while you move. Copy and write. Leave the text in your original.
Y'all know that, right? Y'all know that about just shift, arrow down, and it'll go all the way down, marking everything. But once you mark it, all you have to do is arrow down or page down or whatever, and it'll go faster. Rather than arrow down every line, it's just going one line at a time. If you have 2 lines, great. If you have 74 pages of 25 lines, let me know how that works out.
I'm confused on the how I'm at, but this key to center, so did you click the button twice?
Home.
Oh, it's a home button on the computer?
Yeah. You see it?
Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
Number 7.
And you just-
Mine has the 2 numbered things. Mine has a number thing on the side. Maybe y'all's doesn't or whatever. If not, it's up there somewhere.
Yours are above the 7.
Okay.
Right above the 7?
Do you mark it first?
So
and then-
mine's not on the 7, mine's on the side, next to backspace.
Okay, yeah. So just look for home, H-O-M-E, and then just push home twice, and it should do it. You know what? You can probably be in the middle of that sentence and do home twice, and it'll take you over to where you need to be. Okay?
I don't understand what the point of that is. Like,
It's if it's centered, or if it's a byline, or if it's a paragraph line, or whatever. And you want it just like that. You want it centered. It's centered here, and you want it centered, then that's how you do it. It's gonna know, you know, with these little things, whether, you know, what kind of a paragraph it is.
okay.
Okay?
No file. Whereas cut and separate actually delete the text from your original file. So what's the difference in these two sets of functions? Copy and cut simply place text on the clipboard. But write and separate actually create a new file. So if you use write or separate, you'll have to give your new file a name and let Eclipse create it for you. Paste and read insert text into the file in which your cursor is located. Paste inserts the text from the clipboard, whereas read inserts text from a file. So if you select read, you'll have to indicate the file whose contents you want to insert.
See what it's telling you there? So if you use that read and write thing, it's putting it as a totally different file. And if that's what you want, great. But you know, a lot of times when you I think it's called, I guess it's writing. I don't ever use it, so I really don't know. But like you copy it, write it, I think it takes it out of the context of that file. I mean, if you want to, yeah, be careful with that, because once it goes somewhere and you don't mark it right, or you don't remember what it is, you may not be able to find it again. So I always use the copy paste because it kind of keeps it there. So all it does is just copy it, and then, you know, it still stays there. So if you ever need to go back and get it, you can still go get it. Okay? And a perfect example of that is I was telling you guys, you know, like I do 15 hearings in a day, and it's 15 different files in the morning or whatever. Well, I need that file, and I need to create a separate file, because when I did it in the file, it was page 59 to 110 of 190 pages. So all I need is from page 59 to 110. But I can't create a file of a transcript like this and it says page 59 to 110. No, it's going to be page 1 to whatever, however many pages that is from 59 to 110. Okay? So all I do is copy it, and then I create another file. And I'm going to show you how to do that later. This isn't it, but this is what I'm telling you about the copy and paste. And then I just go in, create the other file, paste it in there. Now it's on page 1. But it's like, oh man, I needed more. I didn't need all of that text. No big deal. Erase it from there, or you know what? I didn't copy everything that I needed to. Come back in here, copy it again. It's still there. Does that make sense? I know what I'm trying to say. I don't know if I'm explaining it correct, but it's still there. It's still there in that file. Okay?
One final note. There are similar block functions in your Eclipse dictionaries and note files. The block function commands that you use in your text documents will perform a related function in your dictionaries and note files.
Got it?
Let's see how to split files or merge files. In this example, I'd like to split out the testimony that occurred after lunch. I'll place my cursor where I want the new file to begin, and
This is exactly what I was just trying to explain just a second ago. Okay? So pay attention.
place my cursor where I want the new file to begin and start marking. Then I'll press Control Page Down to go to the end of the file and either click on the separate icon or go to the block menu or use speed key Shift Control X. When I name and open the file, I will of course be deleting text from one document and transferring it into another.
That's what I'm talking about. You're deleting it from that file and putting it into another file. Be careful with that, okay? Be careful, because once it's deleted, it's gone.
You
It's
can't
gone
put it
from
back?
that file.
It's better just to copy and paste.
It's better to copy and paste, I think. Now they're telling you this is the way to do it. If you want to do it, whatever. Help yourself. I think it's better to copy paste. You do what you want. They're telling you how to do it here. Be careful. But I'm going to show you how to do it another way.
It's now a separate transcript as I wanted. Now just the opposite example. I want to merge the morning and afternoon sessions. So I'll place my cursor at the end of the morning file and use the read command to read one file into another. Of course, it's also on the block menu, and the speed key is Alt-R. The only thing tricky here is that if you're using a block files folder, which is a good idea, you'll need to look in your jobs folder to find the transcript that you want to merge.
This is going to make sense, a lot more sense later. The block files is what you need for like lunch, break, marking an exhibit, any of that stuff where it's the parentheticals. You know what I'm talking about? If you don't, say you don't. You have that look like, no. And that's okay. Because we're going to do it later. It's going to come up later. It's going to make more sense later what I'm explaining to you now. Okay? But let me back it up just a bit.
Tricky here.
So right here it says like a break, time to break, certified question, appearances, mark an exhibit, stuff like that. This is where that thing is going to be. And I'm going to show it to you later. And it's going to be where it comes in parentheses, and it says whereupon a short recess was had, or whereupon attorneys approached the bench off the record, or whereupon lunch was had, or did I say lunch already? Break, lunch, any of that stuff, okay? Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you're gonna get into it later, but so these are basically saved like templates.
These
for
are saved
different-
templates that are called block files, and I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to give you mine. And this is the stuff that we're going to use. But there's stuff on your machine that you can push, like break, break, and it pushes the break, whereupon a short recess was had. You don't have to do Alt-R, put it in there. But if you didn't have time to do it, no big deal. You do Alt-R for read in a block file. That's what the R is for, read in a block file, and then it brings up the block files. For direct examination, all of that stuff. Cross-examination, redirect examination, you have all of that stuff.
What's colloquy?
Colloquy is when they have the court, Mr. So-and-so, and it's over, you know, like the end of the paragraph is here, and it's like in the middle, and they start the paragraph, and, you know, then it goes. Right there, where it says Ms. Jennings, all of that, that's colloquy. Okay?
Here is that if you're using a block files folder, which is a good idea, you'll need to look in your jobs folder to find the transcript that you want to.
So you see what they're telling you there? So if you do it this way, the way that they're telling you to do it, if you want to do it that way, then this is how you do it. But when you do the Alt-R, it's going to go to your block files. So it's usually when you do Alt-R, it goes to your block files. So So you need to go into your users,
Browse.
no, it's not browse, but it's your,
On the block menu, and the speed key is Alt-R. The only thing tricky here is a block files folder, which is a good idea. You'll need to look in.
so you need to drop down this thing of your block files to where all your other files are or whatever, and come to your user setting, to your main settings where everything is, and then pick it out of there. Okay?
In your jobs folder to find the transcript that you want to merge. Now my morning and afternoon testimony are in a single file.
Got it? So stuff like this, discussion off the record, stuff like that, all of these are block files, little block files that you do on your computer. So all of this stuff right here, it doesn't just pop up on there. It's either something you put on your machine that reads it in there, or it's the Alt-R block file that you go and select and put in there, okay? Okay. I think that's all we're gonna do today. Guys, I know that I sound like a broken record when I say this,
But we covered
Hey.
a lot of stuff.
but I say it for a reason. We cover a lot of information, and it seems like it's stuff that, I got that, Alt-R, block file, merge in, write, read, paste, copy, I got that.
To remember.
Guys, it's a lot of stuff. And if you need to go back and watch the video, don't be too proud to do it. Or if you need to go back and do the lesson again, don't be too proud to do it. Whatever, I got this. I took notes. As I see no one's folders out.
I had mine on, I just put it in.
Hey, why are you yelling?
You say you didn't see no one. I'm right here in the front.
I'm kidding. Guys, you should be taking notes every time. We're covering so much stuff. It's important stuff. It's good stuff. And it's only going to help you. But we're covering so much information, that it seems a little overwhelming. And, the more you use it, the more familiar you're going to become with it. Okay? Guys, we do not have class on Monday, okay? So don't look for a video on Monday or Tuesday or whatever, because we don't have class on Monday.
Right.
So, y'all see her?
No.
Who's the girl that's sitting? Does anyone see her?
Well, what was her name?
Oh,
Really? Is that thing still on? Because she should be watching the video, but if y'all see her, just tell her, remind her again. I said it on Monday that we don't have class. So if you accidentally come down here,
On the wiki? No.
I'm sorry?
Did you put it on the wiki?
Well, these videos go on the wiki. So if you watch the videos, if you don't come to class, you should be watching these videos.
Yeah.
You do that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anywho.
I had time,
Yeah.
free time at
Well,
work.
why
and
are we on?
I was
Why are we
listening
on?
to my video.
Hey, you want to come to class? Help yourself. Come up here.
it's Columbus Day.
Yeah. I have something to do on Monday. All right?
No way.
Any questions
It's
about?
Columbus Day, liar.
Huh?
It's a
No,
holiday.
We still work on Monday.
Still working?
Really?
And we still have class.
So comes in?
Yeah.
But we don't have class on Monday. We don't have class, so if you want to come in, help yourself. I don't care.
No.
You're not going to get taught, but you can go through the lesson yourself, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. So,
Practice?
any questions about anything? No questions about Monday? Shouldn't be.
Do we come in?
Yeah. All right. We'll see y'all next Wednesday.
Okay, bye.
Can I look at the chart?